Throw a slack, you fucking moron!
Ladies and... No, I'm not going to do... I do ladies and gentlemen too much. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa. That was better. Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. This is Screen Share, a movie podcast.
Sorry, I already interrupted you.
No, it's okay. A movie podcast about shooting a dog again.
Okay.
My name's
That
Adam.
is true in this one.
And I'm here with Calder as per usual. Did you not like that intro?
Well,
that
it's
time?
just, you said, I do ladies and gentlemen too much. And then you said, whoa, 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 which is strikingly similar to your one from last week, which was, welcome.
That's true. I did say, welcome.
So I think the well is getting a little dry, don't you think?
I gotta look up salutations synonyms on Google.
Yeah.
Which I haven't used salutations yet, so maybe that's for next week.
Salutations.
Well, what's the last name of the Sal?
Volcano, I think.
Volcano.
From Impractical Jokers.
And then, like, the rest of them are sex pests, it turns out, or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or Q is okay. But
it's also Q, so it doesn't really count.
Okay.
He's kind of my least favorite.
And also, on a similar topic, they just canceled
Sorry, Q.
ridiculousness after 14 years. Whoa.
I was, I was sitting there in front of the TV waiting for the new episode to come on.
Yeah.
And I was sorely disappointed.
And an episode came on, and you were like, wait a minute.
Well, yeah, it was episode 1425, where Chanel West Coast does her dolphin laugh, as we all know.
Right. Classic.
That's one of my favorites when she goes, "Meow."
Yeah. Well,
And then the guy who somehow has the controls, I don't know how that worked.
I don't know.
He was just sitting there with the keyboard or something.
What's his
and he,
name?
like,
Rob
twisted it around.
Dyrdek?
Yeah, that's the white guy who doesn't really have any jokes to say, but he's
He
the
just
host
goes,
of the show.
yeah, that was a crazy clip, and he fell down. So what
They
we're
hit
going to
him
be
in
doing
the
next?
nuts.
Yeah. Crazy.
It's crazy
stuff.
that's
stuff.
what America's home, like that kind of took over for America's Funniest Home Videos.
Yeah. What am I going to watch in my hotel rooms anymore? No. It really is that, and Impractical Jokers are like the...
Yeah.
This
Well,
is
because
on in the hotel.
they each had their own channel.
Yeah.
Impractical Jokers, that's just true TV. That's the bread and butter.
Yeah.
And then I think like true crime about pedophiles or something.
Yeah.
And then MTV
The
is
first
like
48.
South Park. I think MTV has like...
Although
isn't they don't even have
MTV
South Park.
Dunzo too or something? Or they
MTV's
just like...
been Dunzo, I think.
I
Much
think-
is definitely Dunzo, though.
Yeah.
Much music.
Oh, yeah. But I thought I saw something that was like, MTV is shutting down.
I wouldn't be surprised, man. I wouldn't be surprised.
Something
You
like
know,
that.
Not a lot of people are watching music videos these days.
No. Certainly not.
You know what music videos I was slightly disappointed by?
Also, sorry,
You
I
may
said
not have
certainly
seen
not.
them.
There's I'll watch like once in a while. There's a music video that comes across my desk, and I'm like, oh, that's a banger.
Mm-hmm. What's the
But,
most
like,
recent one?
Probably the one that we watched at your house on Halloween, which was, or I guess Hallows Boxing Day. The day after Halloween.
What was the music video?
It was the
And also, it was...
Studio Choom.
what is it? The gnarly
Cat's Eye
one?
Gnarly.
That's not really a
choreography
music video, though.
No, not really.
I was slightly disappointed by the music videos for the Olivia Dean album. They're kind of doing the Old Spice thing where they like have the scenes slide in and out. And then she's like doing things, and she's like, being all like, oh, come be the man I need. And like, the song's good. But I don't love the whole, look, we've got a car now and there's a guy there and now that slides and then the building comes down, and I'm just not a fan of whatever that is. I feel like it's more
so you don't like
technically
artistry?
impressive.
Is that what you're saying? Or
It's more technically impressive than visually impressive for me.
yeah, it's more like, well, honestly, this may be a hot take, and hopefully Olivia doesn't listen to this part of the podcast. But like, I sometimes feel that way about OK Go music videos, where you're watching it and you're like, crazy that they did this, but it's not necessarily like, this is the best. Like, some of them are. I think some of them really work, that obviously to varying degrees, but I do feel like sometimes it's like, whoa, that's crazy that they did that.
It's kind of, I feel the same way about acapella, where I'm like, it's, you're talented for sure, but I don't like it. Like, I don't want to hear, I want to hear one person sing.
You don't want to hear,
and I want to hear instruments. Yeah, and it's like, I'm the bassist, and it's like,
yeah,
you
the
just
one
go
guy's
bung,
like,
bung, bung, bung.
dum, dum, dum. That's their whole part the whole time.
And you're like, what the hell's going on here? Like, who even thought this was a good idea?
Yeah,
Pitch
man.
Perfect, that shit'll drive me up a wall, but we'll probably do it one day.
I watched it for the first time in my life within the past month.
And what did you think?
I think it's like the most 2012 film that any film.
Fat
could
Amy is
possibly
hilarious, though.
Fat Patricia is her real name.
Oh. I mean, her real name is... Her real name is...
Owen Wilson.
No.
Okay.
What's that actress's name?
Rebel Wilson.
Ah.
I thought you were doing a bit. That's why I said Owen Wilson.
No, I
say it
completely
only
forgot.
a little close.
I completely forgot. Because I haven't seen her in anything else.
I didn't realize you were genuinely asking, and that's why it took me a while. Last thing I'll say before we get into it. Last episode, I started off by being like, you see that Jays game? Not really having the foresight to be like, this episode is going to come out 2 more games having been played from that game.
And what would you have said?
I just probably wouldn't have mentioned it.
Why? Why does it matter?
because I think last episode I started off by saying, you see that Jays game, and it was like the big crazy comeback win where they blew them out. The Jays blew the Dodgers out. But the game that was the night before the episode released, the Jays lost. So it was a little confusing, and kind of...
Who's confused?
I was trying... Well, the issue was I was trying to be topical, and it wasn't really topical anymore. But now it's over, so we can kind of talk about it.
So did you see those Jays games?
I did see those I did see those James games. Yeah, mostly the last one. Here's the disappointing part. The last one was genuinely like a great game. Yeah. It's just ended very, very solidly.
It ended wrong.
It ended wrong. But here's the thing. It did also feel like it ended wrong. Like it felt it. Yeah, I was texting my cousin about it. Yeah, I was texting with my cousin about it, and I was like, it honestly reminds me, or it gives me a very similar feeling to the Indiana Pacers run in the NBA last season, where it was like underdog. No one was really considering them. They like burst in, like perform really well. Come into the playoffs, have a bunch of like come from behind clutch moments, and like the
bunch of role players start chipping in.
Yeah, it's like a collective. It's like we are winning because we are a good team. It's not because like this player, that player. It's like we all just really want it so bad, and that's why we're doing well.
We didn't pay a single guy $1 billion.
Yeah, and then it's a bit different because this kind of just a few weird circumstances led to us losing it in the last game. And then obviously with Indiana, a big injury got in the way. But like similar feelings where it was like, this feels like the story trajectory was headed in this direction, and then it just veered to the predictable choice at the last second, and it's just a bummer.
Yeah. I think like the injury of Bo Bichette is like bigger than a lot of people are talking about. Like,
but he even hit a 3-run homer in the final game. Like that was,
I know,
he was the one to do the big thing.
If he's full health and running, where IKF was, sadly thrown out at the plate, I think he probably gets there. And quite easily.
George Springer also injured throughout the entire series.
Just taking balls off every part of his body.
Yeah, there was something where like the head coach was asked like,
John Schneider.
how much do we like not even know about George Springer's physical issues right now? And they were like, you probably know like 30%. And it's like, okay, so.
And the worst issue, his hairline.
I mean, it doesn't have a shaved head.
No, he's doing this weird thing where like he's clearly balding, but then he keeps the bangs over the widow's peak and kind of does it straight here. It's horrific. And I don't want to be mean to the man, but like just shave it. And I'm not one to shame
like
a
it's
balding
like if
man.
you grew the above
like,
widow's peak hair down to match your natural middle.
Yeah,
that's bad.
And
if I did that, that would be, dude. Can I be honest? Because I've been struggling with the hairline thing for most of my life at this point, probably.
Not quite, but
nope, not quite. Almost. 14 is when it started. I'm not quite there yet.
14?
Yeah. Well, that's when I started to be like, wait a minute, it's not growing this way. It's growing that way now. But I've had it where I combed it down, and because people have been like, dude, just grow bangs. People who say that don't know, clearly don't know. It's like the hair's not growing there. That's the issue, and it's thin as well. So even when I've combed it down, it's like the most disgusting, greasy looking. So it's George Springer, just do the shaved head. And also, did Jaylen Brown? Sorry, we're jumping around. Jaylen Brown. Yeah. There's, I don't know if you saw this. There were like 3 or 4 clips within for like 2 days of each other.
He's like rubbing Jaylen his hair Brown on people.
Yeah, accidentally rubbing his head on someone and there being a black streak. So clearly he was like using something to make his hairline look forward. And then he announced he was going to shave his head on stream. And I saw clips from the stream, but I didn't see any clips of him actually shaving his head. So
yeah, I don't know. I saw that he called LeBron and LeBron didn't answer.
And then he left a voicemail.
Yeah. And I was like, I like Jaylen Brown, but he's kind of like Shameik Moore, except less creepy. He's just got that same kind of vibe where you're like, brother, you don't have.
He's got similar delivery, and I think he's just a bit of a weird guy. But I don't think I think Shameik Moore is a lot.
I mean,
more
Shameik Moore is a problem.
Yeah,
like I'm not saying Jaylen Brown is a problem, but I mean, like, there's times where I'm like, there's a time to cut off what you're saying, and it was like 15 words ago.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because he also was like, yeah, LeBron will call me back. He'll call me back. And I was like, really? He doesn't call me back.
Have you called him?
I like in a way.
You've called out to him from your rooftop?
Yeah.
And he hasn't gotten back to you yet.
Well, yeah. Maybe that's not the most effective way. Anyway, you know what's really effective? Mm-hmm. Especially at making money? Making a third John Wick movie.
Yeah.
And putting that bitch in theaters.
Yeah. Parabellum.
Yeah, John Wick Chapter 3 hyphen Parabellum.
Yeah.
So they really innovated on the naming convention here. Because, as you know, John Wick, Chapter 2, John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum. Interesting that we go back to know, like, just John Wick Chapter 4 for the next one.
Yeah.
So I think the Parabellum was a little unsuccessful.
Well, it's just
like,
I
don't think it was necessary.
It's too many things.
Yeah. It's like how Ballerina's title is From the World of John Wick, Ballerina.
Yeah.
Or like that Harley Quinn movie where it's like the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
And you're like, brother, it needs to fit on the poster.
That shit only works if it's like an indie film. Like 3 billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri. Like that works because that's you see that and you're like, oh, I'm getting into something here. But when I'm like, I want to watch the new John Wick movie, I don't want to be like, oh, I'm watching John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum.
Yeah, and you're like, what the fuck does Parabellum mean?
People are probably just saying John Wick 3 anyway.
Yeah.
Because
there is a point where they do say like Parabellum or something.
Yeah, I think Winston says it. I don't even know
what the fuck that even means, number one.
Well, I think it was supposed to be like some big reveal moment because you get the subtitles of what the translation is, and it's something like "Back from Death" or something, or death, embracing death or something like that.
So I was kind of like, Boring.
Oh, cool.
You know what else is a parabellum?
Yeah.
Anyway, so the movie, what?
Nothing.
Okay. So the budget was $75 million.
Dude's getting nervous.
Okay. That's me biting my fingernails.
That was a really good biting fingernail sound.
Made 327 worldwide, which is almost a little under double what the last one made. And that's double what the first one made. So this is like 4 times what the first one made. Because if you double something, like let's say you have 1, and then you double it,
Then you got 2.
and then you double that again, that's 4. But in this case, they had like 0.8 because they made 80 million. And then you double that, and that's 1.6, and they made like about 170. And then you double that, and you get 134, and they made 127.
Hey guys, welcome back to Screen Share, a math podcast.
Maybe that should be our niche.
We do math on the pod.
That's not really math. X
say E
squared,
equals MC squared.
A squared plus B squared equals C squared. And C is 8
I
inches
tried to do long
and
division
thick.
the other day.
Oh, that's fucked up. Like by hand?
Yeah.
Damn. What were you dividing?
I forget, honestly. It was such a bad experience.
You just like your body was rejecting everything.
Yeah.
And what was the reason you couldn't use a calculator?
I think I could have used a calculator. I think it was just like, dude, let's see
I'm
if
gonna
I can
try
still
it.
do it.
Yeah,
And I did
it's
it, and then I
tough.
was like, no way, this is right. And it wasn't right.
It's like I
got
got
it
50. I got 50. I'm trying to divide 5 into it. Fuck.
Yeah, what
Is it
this supposed to be?
12?
Well, because I was like, I know that I'm supposed to like bring something over, and that's kind of where I was like, I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah. I never really got that because you don't need to divide.
Well, I will say
Almost
I was
ever.
always someone who like had a really hard time picking up on new math things. Like
Well,
that
yeah,
just
yeah.
wasn't my strong suit. But there were few feelings better than when it did click and you were just
Oh
like,
yeah.
dude. I rarely ever had that. But when it did happen, anyway.
One thing that was a joy for me in high school was balancing equations in chemistry. That shit was
Yeah, I did like that.
fucking crack. And then I was going to take grade 12 chemistry, and I was like, I don't know, I'm good at balancing equations. And they're like, it's none of that. You
Yeah.
don't do anything like that. And I was like, I guess I'm
were
not
a
taking
few
a science in
times-
grade 12.
There were a few times in school where it'd be like, I'm considering what classes to take, and I'd be like, there is this aspect of this class that I enjoyed a lot, actually. And the teacher would be like, we don't do anything like that ever again, actually. It'd be like, oh, so
You're like,
I already did the part I enjoyed then.
yeah, so you gave me a quick hit, now you're going to put me in withdrawal, man. What the hell?
You know what my favorite thing ever was?
Yeah.
My smart friends telling me that I should take the
And me
advanced
included.
classes. Sure. Telling me that I should take the advanced classes, and that it's actually not that hard, and me going, maybe, knowing that it was too
Yeah.
hard for me. It's like,
I mean,
also, I would like to clarify, you were one of my smart friends.
hey, you get me in a data management class, and brother,
man.
we're cooking.
You just weren't like that wasn't at the forefront of what you put out.
Oh, well, yeah, because number one, I'm hot.
You're hot. You're
Everyone
funny,
thinks I'm a nice, tight piece of ass.
You're a
You
nice
could
tight
tell.
piece of ass.
And, I had the athletic build of J.J. Watt, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Pretty close. Just a
Sure.
beefcake.
Yeah.
And I also didn't revisit John Wick 3 a lot at all, especially in the rest of my life after high school, because this did come out after high school. Came out in
But how many
2019.
times have you rewatched it since?
Since it came out?
Yeah.
Maybe 3, not including this time I watched it for this podcast, which is like low for a John Wick franchise.
Yeah.
Like I kind of showing my hand here. I don't dislike this movie, but like I don't like it. Like I think it's a little boring, and I think they got a little obsessed with the gimmicky part of John Wick and like the silly winking part of John Wick with like the celebrity cameos where it's like, it's kind of funny that he fights Boban, but also I'm like, why is he fighting Boban? Like that hadn't, nothing like that really happened.
Though. I see him fighting Boban, Marjanovic, NBA player, just for those unaware, big tall guy.
He's like 7 feet tall, never really good, but a well-loved player.
Yeah. One time intentionally missed free throws in a game that his team was losing just so that the opposing fans would get free chicken wings. That's the kind of guy he is.
Kind of sick.
But I see that cameo in a kind of similarly to how I see the like sumo hitman cameo from the second movie.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, it's just kind of here's an interesting character for John Wick to fight.
Yeah. I think it's just like, then you get into the, what's his name? The like homeless guy, Jason Mantzoukas.
Jason Mantzoukas, yeah.
He's in it. You got Boban, and then they add like the whole Ruska Roma stuff. They got Angelica Houston. And then you get into the Halle Berry stuff. And then the main villain is like a pretty famous guy who's on Hawaii Five-0. Like, at least I recognized him. And so I'm just like seeing all this stuff, and I'm like, it doesn't feel the same. And I think there's some, honestly, my biggest thing is like, I don't find the dog action scene that's like the big set piece in the middle of the movie all that compelling. It's kind of like the dogs are like, I'm kind of sitting there and I'm like, is that an AI dog or is that an analog dog?
I'm pretty sure it's an analog dog. I'm pretty sure that's an organic, all-natural dog.
But it seems... Oh.
You do that?
Yeah, I kicked my lamp over.
You need to fix that?
I'm going to go pick it up real quick.
Okay.
Just give me
I'll just real quickly say this while Calder can't hear. I actually really liked the dog stuff. I thought it could have been shot better, but I found it interesting.
Heaven forbid a player try to stretch out a little bit, huh?
Yeah, man. Anyway,
but it feels like the dogs it feels like the dogs are like homing missiles.
Sure.
Where it's like Halle Berry's doing something, and then out of nowhere, dog runs from behind a crate. Obviously, it was just being held by like the dog handler up a ramp, and then bites a guy in the nuts.
Yeah,
and then like anytime there's like an issue, the dog just goes and it immediately bites the nuts. The dogs love the nuts in this movie.
That's true. Lots of nut bites. But probably because that's one of the safer places for them to get a dog to bite, because they can pat it really well and hide like a treat or something in there.
But then I'm kind of like, I don't know. I saw these dogs munch on 13 dudes' testicles already. I don't really need to see it again. That's like fair. Part of the thing with John Wick is like the novelty. Where like the knife fight, for example, in that hallway when they've got the cases with the knives, like that shit. That was awesome. That's compelling, right?
And him like building the revolver out of like 3 revolvers.
Yeah, like that's the cool John Wick shit. But then I get to the middle of this movie and it's like, oh, John, you have to do it.
I do feel like this movie could have benefited from being cut like 20, maybe even 30, but I feel like I can safely say 20 minutes off of it.
Like, I think a lot of the Continental stuff is kind of inessential.
Which is most of the movie.
Yeah.
This movie is very Continental heavy.
So I'm watching this thing and I'm like, we're so far away from John. And like even in some of the scenes, they're so detached from like human action, I guess, with the dog stuff specifically.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of like in the middle of this movie, I'm like, I don't fucking care about Lawrence Fishburne and this adjudicator, and like, not to be rude, but a lot of these things are better as like tier 3 elements to the movie, not like on the same level as John Wick.
Yeah, it did. This is the movie that felt more the first time like it was about more than John. Mm-hmm. Like, there have been more things happening than just John in the previous two films, but they still felt like ultimately it was about John. This felt like it was like there's a lot happening.
Yeah,
and this felt like this is bigger than John. It
felt like they were like, we gotta expand the world. Like, we need to build this into a big franchise where you can have spin-offs. So we can have the Winston show, or maybe we could have the Adjudicator show, and maybe we have like all this
which
shit.
I think is like, just something that John Wick struggles with in general, which is like not bringing back characters, but introducing new characters and implying that they're going to be returning characters, and then they don't return. Like, Lawrence Fishburne's character is one of the few that's introduced and brought back. Aside from like the mainstays of the first film.
Like Winston,
Lance Reddick.
What's his name? I forget what
Charon.
Yeah.
Or Chiron, I don't know. One of those.
It just feels like they got a little too big for their britches. Yeah. And like, I know last time I said I think this one's talkier. Maybe we'll do our little how many words over under. Mm-hmm. I set the line at 450 last episode. What do you think? For John.
Over, certainly.
It's lower. It's 410.
For John.
Yeah. Okay. But a lot more people are yapping at him in this movie, which I think is what I was thinking about. Like, he has there's that whole scene with Halle Berry where she's like, I know you helped me get my daughter out. And you're like, she's going on for like 2.5 minutes. He doesn't say a goddamn word. And you're like, I don't really care about her. Like, I'm not trying to be rude here, but I don't care.
Yeah, it's a lot. Well, that's the thing. That's kind of tied to the introducing a bunch of random characters. Like, there were characters in the first movie that we were like, wish they came back, but they just don't. Then, like, Common and, Buzz Cut Lady. Yeah, Ruby Rose and, like, a few others. They don't come back at all. Like, Then in this movie, there's like some introduced. There's new Buzz Cut Lady, who's like the adjudicator, and there's like a few others. And I'm just like, but every time they introduce one, they either have to just like be like, look at this cool looking person, and we won't tell you anything about them, or they go the complete opposite. They're like, let us tell you why this character is really, really important to the story and really, really important to John's life, and it's like. Which is kind of Halle Berry's character. They kind of just tell us, like in the last one, there was like, I forget what her name was, like Adriana or like Gianna.
Oh yeah,
it was Gianna. And like with that, they kind of imply just through how they talk to each other that they have a history. But then with Halle Berry's character, they spend like 10 minutes telling us that they have a history. And then just jumping straight to it as if it's like, okay, now that you love her as a character, now that you're connected to her as a character, and it's like, no, you just kind of told me a bunch of shit. I'm not really that connected to her as a character.
And you're like, now John has a marker on someone else?
Yeah.
Like, it felt like the marker thing was kind of special in the second movie, and now here it's like, oh, this shit's just like kind of floating around. Yeah. Like, John gets a marker on her for saving her single daughter. I was confused.
In the last movie, didn't Winston give John a marker? And then also at the beginning of this movie, he gets a marker from the book in the library. Which markers?
The marker that Winston gives him is the one from Santoni. Kind of like closing the loop on him owing Santoni, but the one from the book is the one for Halle Berry.
Right. And in the book, he also gets the cross, which is from his he grew up, his like weird ballerina orphan school. Which I think we didn't even do the summary. We didn't even do the plot summary.
That's true. Okay.
Let's just spam through it real quick.
Okay. John, they've retconned it. It's now raining in New York as John runs away. from Winston and all the killers surrounding him. Feels a little bit like Blade Runner 2048 because I think
49.
I think you're lying.
Certainly not.
The visuals in this movie are, I think, better than 2. To just put that.
Yes, I would agree.
He's running away, trying to get out of there. Has a couple of fights, but needs to basically go to the desert. I don't know what country he goes to. Is it Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Cairo, maybe?
Oh.
Goes to the Middle East. Oh, it's like Monaco or something.
Monaco,
No.
yeah.
Yeah. Casablanca? Morocco. Okay.
I think.
Goes somewhere where there's
Casablanca.
dirt. I guess it's called sand.
Though. Is Casablanca in Morocco?
Wow, your NA education is really showing right now.
You didn't know either. This is actually why we're looking it up.
I did just call sand dirt as well.
Yeah,
so
Casablanca is the biggest city in Morocco.
Okay. So he goes to Morocco where Halle Berry is to basically get help to talk to her boss so he can maybe meet the head of the high table. Like he's above the high table. So there's a high table and maybe a booster chair above that.
Yeah.
And so this interaction doesn't go too well. That guy shoots a dog with a bulletproof vest. I didn't know they had those. They fight their way out, end up going to the booster chair guy where John cuts off his finger and then has to go fight.
John cuts off John's finger, not the bigger guy.
Yeah.
The bigger
Cuts
guy's
off his ring
gotta
finger.
cut your finger off if you want to be back.
Yeah. And he's like, okay, kind of weird. Could I do a toe? No. Maybe could I do my pinky? No. Has to be ring finger. I don't really understand that. Anyway.
Yeah.
We move past. And then at the end, while this is going on, there's like the adjudicator bullshit because Winston's in trouble because he let John go. And then also Lawrence Fishburne helped him. And like, I don't know, the stuff that I don't really care about. That's happening. And then at the end, John has a fight with Mark, what's his name? Dacascos, who's like, I think he's a judge on Iron Chef. And in Hawaii Five-0, the reboot one that they did recently. And then he's fighting to get to Winston, to kill Winston because he was told to kill Winston by the guy in the booster chair.
Yeah, basically saying kill Winston if you want to be
right.
If excommunicado, so that so people will stop coming after you, but you'll be back into the life and have to do all the fucking killings.
Like he'll own him.
Which, anyway, and then John fights, and then it turns out that Winston backstabbed him, but did he really? And John falls off the fucking roof. Winston gets the Continental back.
Honestly, one of the weaker endings. Because then the adjudicator's like,
Fishburne.
where did Winston's body go? You better not have something to do with that. Or where did John's body go? You better not have something to do with that.
And he's just like, I don't know.
Of course he fucking does. They've been friends for 25 years.
Yeah.
What do you mean? And they have everyone has a bulletproof suit.
But that's the thing. Also, it's like, okay, even if that was the plan, John did hit about 15 fucking railings before hitting the ground. There's a good chance he dies anyway. And then Lawrence Fishburne, or I guess Jason Mantzoukas, drags him off the streets, brings him to Lawrence Fishburne, who has 7 cuts in him, and he's pissed off, and that's how it ends. Whatever. Yeah. Honestly, that's the plot summary. That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
I don't really know how to feel about this film. In a lot of ways, I like it better than the second one. In a lot of ways, I think it's worse. My main issue with it is it really feels like the plot is kind of just like doing too much in a way that like isn't really coherent or easy to follow. Like, it really frustrated me that I didn't really know John's motivation the whole time. It's kind of like, okay, so he's trying to like I guess clean his record with the high table, but like, how is he doing that? And like, what does he hope to gain from that? Like, what's the reason? Like, And
like,
then
why not just go live in a cabin?
Yeah, which multiple people tell him to do. They're just like, dude, just stop. But then he like gets there and he says like he needs to live so that his memory of his wife can live. Mm-hmm. So he's fine to kill one of his best friends and be a servant of the high table again after all of this. So, and then be back into killing people again so that he can remember his wife.
Yeah.
And it's like,
who wouldn't have wanted him to do any of this?
Yeah.
So it's not like,
but then also in doing so, he cuts off his ring finger with his wife's ring on it, and the guy keeps his wife's ring.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, oh, in my mind, I'm like, I would want to keep the ring to keep the memory of my wife, not kill a bunch of people, including my friend, to keep the memory of my wife. Anyway, so then I'm like, I guess he's committed to this, whatever. Then he goes, does all this fighting, and then decides last second, I'm actually not going to kill Winston. Yeah. And then it's like, oh, so you just changed your mind after, like, so before cutting off the finger, you didn't think maybe like, oh, maybe I won't kill Winston, actually. You cut off the finger and do all that, then you go all the way back to New York, go through all of this shit, and then you're like,
and do like a last stand with Winston too.
Yeah.
Where they're like fighting against hordes of people coming into the Continental.
And all it took was Winston being like, you really want to do this? John's like, I guess. No, he literally goes, no, I don't think I will. And it's like, yeah, man. Why did you think of this in fucking the desert, man?
Now you only got 9 fingers.
And it was just very... it was a little frustrating, a little confusing, and it also felt like, because then I was like, oh, maybe they did that just like to have some excuse to have like a big finale fight scene reason for him to go back to New York. Mm-hmm. Why can't it just be that he is told to kill Winston, so he goes, oh, they want Winston dead. He decides he doesn't want to do it. He fucking kills High Table Guy, does his John Wick shit, and kills all these people in the desert. And then he goes back to New York to protect Winston, and you have the exact same finale, the same, but it's not this like tug of war, like back and forth decision, confusing intentions of John. Like,
yeah,
I feel like there was probably a better way to still have that final action sequence, because I do think the final like big action sequence is very good. Like,
like in that glass room.
Yeah. I think the stuff of them fighting the guys who have a lot of armor, I think it was kind of fun to see Lance Reddick in some action. And I think it was cool to see them, like, I think there was some funny stuff of them, like, him being like, they have improved armor, so we're going to need these guns. And they go out and use the guns and come back. And John's like, improved armor? Yeah, really? This didn't do shit. Essentially. And Lance Reddick's like, we'll shoot him with these big shotguns. But, like, I also think the action of them having to like shoot them 15 times just to get them to fall down and then lift their helmet and shoot their necks 7 times, like, it was a little much.
It felt kind of cool because it felt like they were unlocking a new move in a video game.
Yeah,
but like other than that, I was kind of like, a lot of the action stuff in this one isn't the most compelling.
Well, that's the thing. There's some that are, like, I think the knife fight is very good.
Yeah.
I think some of the horse stable stuff was funny.
Is good.
Like, that's quintessential John Wick to me, is him using horses to kill guys. But
and there is, like, another Buster Keaton reference in this, and, like, a lot of the...
that was one of the first things I wrote down was, like, more Buster Keaton stuff in the background.
Yeah. A lot of the, like, the best stuff in this is infused with that, like the knife, the horse, him when he's riding the horse and the guys are on the motorcycle. And then even like some of that stuff in the glass room where you can tell he's kind of jumping into these glass boxes, but it is kind of like silly where he's just like, they're going to break like 17 of these glass cases
all in a row. Yeah.
Like,
that's the thing. I thought so much of it was very good, but then like I could have done without the entire improved armor fight. Thing. And probably without a bunch of the Casablanca thing. Because here's the thing. I thought some of the dog stuff was cool, but you're right that it seemed like every single time was just like, there's no sight of the dogs, and then Halle Berry goes, "Ah!" and then
Yeah.
and then a dog
the
just
dog
shoots in
appears.
from off screen
Yeah.
to do something and then runs off screen again. So like, I think that's because from what I remember, there's a little bit of dog choreography in the fourth one.
It's only like the one guy, I think.
Yeah, but that's the thing. From what I remember, it was better and it was less, which I think is good. But yeah, I don't know. I also thought the dog died when it got shot. I was certain it died, and then all of a sudden there were two dogs fighting again, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, I think the dog had a bulletproof vest on, which I don't know the logistics of that because
well, I'm also just like, if this guy was gonna kill this dog to prove a point, would he not shoot the dog in the head?
Yeah, I like that actor, but I didn't like whatever that was. That
It was just
that scene was.
It kind of just felt like most of the scenes in this movie, the whole scene, I was like, okay,
Yeah, like
and then it would end, and
for-
I'd be like, oh, okay, and then I'd be like, okay, time to get into this next scene.
I didn't check this before, but I wonder how much longer that 3 is. 3 is only like 10 minutes longer than 2, but it feels so much longer. And both are like 15 minutes longer than the first one.
I do think it's partially because there's a lot of different action scenes in this one, in chapter 3, but they're also longer scenes. Like the Casablanca one, I'm like, that could have been shaved by like probably like 3 to 4 minutes.
Yeah.
The extra armor one, probably 3 to 4 minutes. Honestly, the glass one, even though I like it, probably could have been shaved like 4 or 5 minutes. Like
I like when he's fighting the 2 little guys, and I like that dynamic that they have where they like revere him so much.
yeah,
But
they
also at a
revere
point
him
I was
so
like-
much, but also like they let him live a bunch of times.
Yeah.
That's something that was kind of confusing me at the end. Those 2 did it. The main bald guy did it, and John did it multiple times, where they'd like have a chance to very easily kill their opponent, and they'd just like bob and weave for a second.
Yeah.
And it would be
the
like
guy gets the sword to his neck at one point, and then John just walks at him. And you're like, you slit it. You slit John's throat.
yeah.
Why don't we do that?
Or there was a part where like the one guy was like unarmed and was like wobbling around, and John's holding the knife and is just like walking slowly towards him. And it's like, dude, this is the moment to, I don't know, throw it or lunge forward. I will say, I looked it up while watching. Keanu Reeves was 54 years old shooting this movie. Like, he's there's a couple times where you can kind of like, and not just in this one, but in all the John Wicks, there's sometimes once in a while where you can be like, Keanu's moving a little slow, but it's so rare, and it's kind of just insane how much he's doing for how old he is.
And there is part of like, there's a little bit of charm to that too,
Yeah,
where you're like, you know, he's just really good. Like he's like Luka Doncic when he's fat.
yeah.
Like he can kind of get anyone even if he's not going full speed.
Yeah. And I think it does kind of help, like having those 2 guys, well, I guess having those 3 guys be like such big fans of John kind of help that idea, because it's like, oh, John is also an older guy. He's like a veteran of this space. So it kind of works.
Yeah, I don't know. I was watching this and I was just like, there's some things that work, but it's quite boring.
Yeah, I feel like it
and
got
I
away from him
almost-
a little bit.
And I almost don't want to know more about John. And it feels like we triple the amount that we know about John in this movie. With the Ruska Roma stuff, with the Casablanca stuff, with like some of his relationship to like Winston. I'm kind of like, it's better to live in the obscurity where he is like a figure. We're not expecting him to go through some, Goodwill Hunting style transformation by the end of the movie.
Yeah.
We're just expecting him to like be a vessel for a fun action plot.
Well, we've even talked previously about how there have been times where we thought that they were going to like reveal something about John's past or something, and then they don't, and it feels right that they don't, because part of the, I mean, so many characters in the first two movies spent time like revering the like legend and myth behind John Wick, that now that we have a movie where we're learning more about John, we're having people be like, oh, we really like you, John. Like, it's just a different vibe than the, like, Baba Yaga. We're scared of, like, John's who you don't want to mess with John. Instead, it's like a guy being like, oh, that was a good fight, huh? Like, which I do like. But I think that mixed with the learning more about John frequently in this movie and having him, I know he didn't say more words, but like he says more. Like what the words he does say are more
like revealing.
Yeah. It just kind of gives a different vibe. From what I remember of the fourth one, they kind of fixed that a little bit.
I think I kind of to put a pin in this, I think like the best scene in this movie, in my opinion, is when he goes to get stitched up at the doctor.
Same.
Like 5 minutes before his time is done. I think about that the most out of anything in this movie, because it's such a small thing, such a small little like character detail, world detail, that number one, they have these doctors hidden in the nooks and crannies of New York that you can pay a token and get stitched up at, but also just like how John can care about the people that he comes into contact with.
Well, the beginning of the movie kind of gave me hope that it was going to be like the more line along the lines of the first and kind of second one, because we get like that cool knife fight in the knife shop and the cool building of the gun.
You get the library
the cool
fight.
Library part. I think it's kind of, you get the dog, he drops the dog off with Lance Reddick. Which I loved, the dog like pulling up in the taxi and Lance Reddick just smiling, like he loves that dog. But like, and then going to the doctor, that being one of those relationships where they imply that there's some history here, but they don't get into it. They just show us through them trusting each other and doing a favor for each other. The doctor being like working until the last second he was able to, and then John finishing up, and then the doctor being like, you got to shoot me so they don't think I helped you, even though I know that I didn't help you.
Yeah.
Like
twice.
It kind of just builds the world and the rules and the relationships and like the weird quirkiness of this world. Like that gave me so much hope, and then they kind of, it gets away from them for the rest of the movie for the most part.
I don't think it's their fault, but I think it's as soon as the adjudicator, played by Asia Kate Dillon, as soon as they come into the movie, it brings in the whole lore shit.
Yeah.
Which this franchise has been very good about not expressly stating lore, but now it's like, oh, so there are people who are kind of like middle managers at the high table who go around and manage like the continental owners. So it's not really like Winston is kind of like this guy who started up this hotel for these people that he saw a need to fill, kind of a thing. It's more of a, he's been placed into this.
Yeah.
And there's like a whole corporate structure that you need to worry about. Like even in the second one, when they're like, she's part of the high table, you're kind of like, that's something. It's a nebulous concept. It's like you got 7 people who kind of roughly manage things, but then you add in this adjudicator and you're like, I don't know. So like she's making like upper middle class money and fucking going home to the kids at night. Like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah.
And it's not even necessary. Like, I think it's kind of a Ruby Rose character in the last movie where you're kind of like, there's something here. This performer is good. They were like, at this time, Asia Kate Dillon was like in Billions, had become like a big part of that show and was on there for like 5 seasons and then has kind of petered out. Like, this was their last big movie role.
Yeah.
But like the character is just, I don't know. It's so it's like Thunderbolt Ross or something in Marvel where you're kind of like, they just come in and they just fucking yap and you're like, okay, when is the cool thing gonna happen again?
Yeah, it does kind of feel like, just to bring it back to the thing I always bring it back to because it's the thing I have the most reference for, but it feels a little bit like some of the politics content in the prequel trilogy of Star Wars.
Which we're living through IRL right now.
The trade barriers.
Yes.
The Trade Federation has placed a blockade, preventing aid from reaching the service.
We gotta do Star Wars.
We will. But I think the way we do that is we just do the prequels. That's the series, and then we do some other stuff, come back, you know. Anyway, we can discuss that off pod, because I have a
Feeling you disagree.
Jesus Christ.
sorry. But it's
Wow.
it kind of felt like that, where it's like, I watch a lot of the politics parts of, like Phantom Menace, for example,
Yeah.
as an adult, and I'm like, I don't think it's bad. Like, now that I kind of understand the terms and like context of what they're talking about, and I'm able to pay attention for more than 2 seconds at a time, and I'm not just there for the flashy lightsabers, I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't hate what's there. It's part of the reason that made Andor so good. The political parts of Star Wars are very interesting. It's just in the prequels, it very much felt like it was like, okay, like, do we gotta
hurry
be
up.
listening to some senators yap?
Yeah.
I would like to get to the part where the cool stuff's happening. And that is very much how the Adjudicator feels here, where I'm like, I don't hate this character. I don't hate even the lore or context for it. I think it's like a cool idea that like the High Table sends in someone to like essentially do a like business autopsy or like an autopsy on the situation and figure out who was culpable and who what. Like, I think that's interesting. It's just every time it happened, I was like, this part of it is just like talking, and because of the world of John Wick and and like the
Your
tone of John
for
Wick,
the movie. Yeah.
but also just like the tone, like in another franchise they could have like the exact same thing, but it would feel different. But with this, they kind of need it to be a tone of like this like professionalism, but this underlying threat kind of implication, like that almost every character in the movie kind of delivers. Like, every character in the movie kind of feels like they are trying to maintain a level of power over the person they're talking to. And it works for a lot of characters, like when Common and John Wick were interacting in the last film, it felt natural because they're both trying to like keep the edge over the other, try to figure, like, that makes sense. It even makes sense when like Lance Reddick is talking to John, or John is talking to Winston, or even Winston talking to Lance Reddick. Like, it kind of, depending on the characters, it kind of makes sense. But when it's like every character is having that dynamic in their dialogue with every other character, especially one like the Adjudicator, whose whole purpose of being there is having power over the other characters, it just kind of feels like, not bland, but it feels just a little bit like what am I supposed to be caring about in this scene? Who am I supposed to be like caring about in this exchange? It's just a bit weird.
I think part of it is also that they're not very like scary, because
No.
I think the adjudicator, if they have a problem, they bring other people in, and you're like, so Winston can kind of like motherfuck them and be like, I don't care.
Yeah.
And what are they going to do? Like, Winston could probably beat their ass.
Yeah.
And he's like 75 years old. So it's a weird thing to have like this skinny little person try to be the most powerful person in a room or a whole building filled with assassins. You're kind of like,
Yeah, especially
like,
at the
what
end
the
when they did the
fuck- what are you gonna
parlay.
do?
They're on a rooftop with Winston, Lance Reddick. I think the dog maybe was... I can't remember if the dog was there.
I don't remember.
And John Wick.
Yeah.
And she's like so relaxed, and I'm like, they could... Like, John alone could kill all three of them if he wanted to.
You just saw them take out your 3 school buses full of heavily armored soldiers.
Yeah, and you're wearing a
Like-
pantsuit.
A pantsuit.
Is that what she's wearing?
Did you say pan or pant?
I thought it was... I've been certain my whole life it's pantsuit.
No, it's pantsuit.
It is pantsuit.
Yeah, because I don't know why, because most suits do have pants on them.
A woman's
Maybe-
suit of clothing consisting of pants and a matching jacket. That's called a suit.
Yeah, but I think girls are supposed to wear skirts. So
Yeah, wait. Women's suit. Difference. This is important. This is an important tangent.
no, it's okay.
Between
I understand. We're doing our fashion corner.
a suit and a pantsuit. A suit traditionally refers to a man's matching jacket or trousers, while a pantsuit refers to the matching jacket or trousers of a woman. So
I don't get
they
it.
just threw pant in front of it to be like, and this one's for women.
I think like women
What
used
the
to
hell?
wear formal skirts to
But
working
with a jacket?
situations. Yeah. Like
Okay.
Clueless. You ever seen that one? Alicia Silverstone?
No.
Alicia?
No.
Who was just in Begonia, man. Saw Begonia?
You
You might
see
like it. Yeah, I did.
Would Olivia like it?
Stavros?
Would it be too scary for Olivia?
I don't think so.
She's nervous about it being too
There's
scary.
a couple like violent parts, but it's not like
Is
like
it any
fucking-
more scary than Poor Things? Because Poor Things wasn't scary. It was just a little...
It's a little
disturbing.
more realistic.
Okay.
And it's a little more aggressive, like less fantastical and aggressive because they do kidnap a woman.
Fair.
But like it's not fucking Saw or something.
Now the question is, when they kidnapped her, was she wearing a pantsuit?
She was actually, or was she? I think she might have been wearing a skirts suit.
Well, yeah, if there's no name for suit jacket with skirt, then what's the need to call them a pantsuit if they're just a suit? If I see a woman
Adam.
wearing a suit, I'm going to go, that's a woman in a suit. I'm not going to be like, they're wearing a pantsuit.
Adam, this might be inappropriate.
Mm.
Are you a loser? I was going to say something worse, but
What were you going to say?
I was going to ask you if you were gay.
For
But that felt wrong.
thinking
For saying
there's
that
no
a woman
difference.
can wear a suit.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean,
That's
here's the thing:
weird.
if a homophobic person saw a woman in a pantsuit, they'd probably be like, "Women shouldn't be wearing suits."
Yeah,
So,
you
like,
probably have a point
that's
there.
my point. Also, I don't know if that would be homophobic.
Your
That might
point
actually
is,
just be more
I want to
misogynistic, but-
talk the same as a homophobe.
No, no.
I want to have the
My
same
point
rhetoric
is
as a
that I think
homophobe.
pantsuit. Maybe this is me just going to bat really hard for this because I called it a pantsuit and I'm a bit embarrassed about it.
He's going rad femme. He's going rad femme.
But I think pantsuit is silly if it literally describes a suit. Anyway, we can get...
I think I think we agree.
Okay.
It doesn't make much sense.
Okay. I'm glad that we...
I think it's just because when women started in the workplace, they would wear skirts with a suit jacket.
Okay.
So that was like a woman's version of like...
So then someone saw a woman wearing pants with a suit jacket
and they're like,
went,
what the
fuck? They're wearing a pant
Well, because
suit?
pants were a man's clothing item for a very long time.
Yeah,
and then they started letting women wear pants. And honestly, I think we should stop letting women wear pants.
Okay, goodness gracious. You don't mean that.
No, I don't really care. It doesn't affect my life at all what other people wear, for the most part. If someone walked around in a t-shirt that said "fucking beat this guy up" and it was a picture of me on it, then I might have an issue.
Maybe I might have an issue. Bit of an issue if someone's wearing a t-shirt that's inciting violence upon me personally.
Yeah,
yeah, that is kind of where my line is.
Conversely, if it was like this guy's got a massive hog and it was a picture of my face, then I'd be kind of like, where do I pass these out? Where do I get more of these?
Yeah. Where can I sell other people shirts of my face that says I have a giant hog?
Yeah. Anyway, so John helped Halle Berry's daughter. I don't really know.
We're going back to that part. I don't know. I mean, it's, to be honest, I did not. I saw Halle Berry come on, and I was like, kind of excited. I was like, "Whoa, Halle Berry!"
Did you know she was in this?
No.
Okay.
I knew that she was in John Wick.
Okay.
I kind of just forgot, though, and then I saw her, and I was like, whoa. And then very quickly did not care at all about Halle Berry's character.
Yeah, it's wild.
Most of any care that I had for her character was because she had the dogs.
Other than that, it's just...
I can't believe
it's that thing where it feels like they just kind of shoved a famous person in.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't know why this has to be Halle Berry. If even her boss is like a third tier guy on Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. I don't really get it. Like, I think she just wanted to do an action movie. Like in that documentary,
maybe
there's an interview with her and she's like, hey, get me any part in John Wick. I need to do it. And I was like, she can say that all she wants. It doesn't mean you have to give it to her if it doesn't really make sense. And I don't feel like it makes a ton of sense.
No, certainly not. I now forget the part that I was going to say, but that's okay.
Another thing, I think the most important thing going forward for the franchise is the Ruska Roma, the Angelica Houston gang of ballerinas and wrestlers, I guess. Because you might not be able to predict this. And I don't want to give you a spoiler.
Sure.
But the ballerina
is about one of them.
About one of them.
Well, so I wrote a note as soon as the first ballerina came on. I was like, whoa, it's the ballerina. And then I quickly realized, no, it's not.
That's not Ana
I
de
was looking out for Ana de Armas anywhere, even in the background, wasn't there, but that's okay.
Yeah, I guess they couldn't get her at this point. Also, Ana de Armas 2019, what's that, like Knives Out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit.
She was still kind of coming up. She was still coming up. And then she did like 15 like dog shit movies.
That's how it goes usually. And then they become famous, they cash some checks, and then they start doing some interesting stuff.
Yeah. 2019 is Knives Out, and then she does really nothing good. And then she's in No Time to Die. Have you seen No Time to Die? It's all right. And then she's really in her fucking flop era with Deep Water, the one where her and Ben Affleck fuck and Ben Affleck has a bunch of snails. You know about that one, obviously.
Of course.
The Gray Man, Blonde, Ghosted, a movie called Eden with Sydney Sweeney and Vanessa Kirby that I don't think anyone's watched, and it's directed by Ron Howard. And then Ballerina, like 4 years, or I guess 6 years after Knives Out. But we'll talk about her more in that episode.
Yeah. To be honest, I'm mostly just really excited to see Chapter 4. I genuinely am, because from what I remember walking out of that and thinking very positively about it. So I'm curious where it's going to rank. I've been thinking about what my ranking is so far. I won't share yet because I think we'll just do that at the end once we've seen 4 and Ballerina. But I'm curious where it'll land. And I'm curious where this one will land. Because it does so much better than Chapter 2, but it also has a lot of problems that Chapter 2 does not have. So I need to continue to consider it.
I assume we're in the wrapping up phase.
Yes. If you're
just like how this movie had a goofy ass ending, we will have a goofy ass little ending here.
Okay.
Where we go through your prediction for the movie.
Yes, if it's all right, first I'd like to just hit a few notes that I didn't get to.
I'm going to say it's not. So your first one was John's trying to get rid of the bounty.
Okay.
That was correct.
Okay.
Nice job on that one. The next one is that Winston dies in a last stand at the end of the movie.
Yeah,
you were
because I knew
close.
someone was shot off a roof. I think I thought it was Winston that got shot off a roof.
Okay. And he does kind of do a last stand, which is, it's kind of crazy how he just sits in there and like fucking drinks a scotch and smokes a cigar while John and Lance Reddick are, again, committing a genocide in the Continental.
Yeah.
And then you do say John ends up in a desert, which like he goes to the desert, but he doesn't really end up there.
Well, that's the thing. He got to the desert and I was like, he's not going to be here till the end of the movie. So he's there at the beginning of the movie, is he? Yeah. There's like an hour left. And it didn't.
And I was even thinking that too. I was like, how does he get back to the desert at the beginning of 4?
I don't know.
And I guess it's just a time jump. I also had the question, is that an AI dog or an analog dog? And I think we figured out it was an analog dog.
Yeah.
But now you can hit those couple of notes.
Okay.
Unless, no, I'm just kidding.
Okay. I'm just gonna try and hit them quick. The opening credits were cool with the little coins and bullets flying around, but once the title showed up, it was a lil corn doggy, is what I wrote down.
Yeah, I think the opening credits for most of these like this one for 2 is kind of corn doggy as well.
Yeah.
I almost never like action movie opening credits because I think they're too self-serious.
Yeah. They're a little much. That's like, say what you will about the Fast and Furious ones, they're usually a little goofy, and I appreciate that.
Yeah. But that fits the tone, you know?
Bobon's death was brutal. John bashing the book into his mouth a bunch of times was crazy. That was a crazy watch.
Kind of jaw, man.
Yeah. The revolver building scene was cool. The knife throwing to the gonads was crazy. The music during the knife fight was also very good.
Are the sound effects helping?
Yes. They're actually filling the silence well, so I can skip all the shit that's not important. Oh, these movies are so good at having moments of comedy within the action choreography, and the example I gave was all of the guys needing to reload at the same time, so they're reloading, and then John does first and shoots them both. Like, they do little shit like that all the time, and I think that's one of the staples of these movies.
It's a little Jackie Chan, you know?
Yeah.
Where... We did Police Story in the first season of the podcast.
Yeah.
Those action scenes are just so fun.
They're crazy. I wrote down, like, why aren't these sushi shop guys going after John? They're clearly better than anyone else they've sent after him so far. And then eventually they did send them after him, and it took a long time because they were so good. So it kind of worked out.
I think that's a cool, like, set. And I find it funny how the adjudicator goes up and it's like... And he's like, "Oh, would you like this and this?" And does his like little sushi act, and then I always like seeing that turn in the characters in this movie, where it's like,
honestly, I loved him as a character. I thought he was really interesting.
I like that actor too.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
When John was like deciding whether to cut his finger off and become a servant of the high table again, I just wrote, "Brother, just die. Dying seems so much better."
Yeah. Yeah. I guess he's not a religious man because then he'd just meet her up in heaven.
Yeah. I said, I'm a bit confused. If the sushi guys are serving the lady that represents the high table to kill John, but the guy above the high table gave John a directive to kill Winston, why are the sushi guys trying to kill John before he can get to Winston?
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Oh, yeah. I thought the motorcycle scene, specifically the one that like happens in the tunnel, the bridge tunnel, kind of looked like shit a little bit. I'll be honest. It looked very like they are on fake motorcycles on a green screen. And it looked pretty good considering that, but it's just, I think so much of the rest of John Wick is so practical, it just kind of stood out and looked
I think
bad.
the thing with that is that they actually did do that.
Okay. It still didn't
And
look
part of
very
it
good.
just, yeah. They didn't, it gives me like the Arc de Triomphe, you know, in 4 when the cars are all going in the roundabout.
Yeah,
and he's like trying to make it through. A little bit of the same feeling with that, where it's like there are clearly CG elements in here, like him riding the horse, and I think them riding the motorcycles are real, but the cars and shit aren't.
Yeah.
So like then you just kind of have Keanu Reeves like in the Arc de Triomphe when he's like dodging fake cars, and you're like, okay, no one would actually like dodge a car like that, brother. Like I've dodged many cars in my life. Mostly because I run in the roads. I like to play crossy roads, just kind of on the street here.
Love Crossy Road.
There's a lot of logs that I tumble into the river on, man.
Yeah, man. Sometimes you got to go back on a log. Sometimes you got to risk that.
Hey.
For me to think, this is stupid, John, and then 4 scenes later, Winston says, this is stupid, John, only for John to go, maybe you're right, makes the whole movie feel a little pointless. Because the whole movie was John trying to get to the high table guy to clear his name. And then he does it, and then Winston's like, why would you do that? And he's like, oh, yeah. So then it's like, okay, so the last hour, 20 minutes, what was that for then?
Yeah.
So like that's why like even the good parts of this movie, it feels a little pointless because the whole thing goes back on itself at the end, which makes it kind of feel unearned.
I will say this is the last John Wick that Derek Kolstad wrote. And he kind of was the inception of this franchise. Mm-hmm. He moved on to doing Nobody, and then also now he's doing another action movie with Bob Odenkirk called like
Somebody.
It's like literally a incredibly similar title.
Okay, sure.
But I think he got a little too into like, I have all these like ideas of the John Wick world and like how it works and how John has done all these things.
Yeah.
Like he wrote a background story for John Wick, and now he's like, this is the one where I can put all the stuff into it. Mm-hmm. And then you get into 4 and it's like, that shit doesn't really exist.
No, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's not the cool part of it.
Well, not that it doesn't exist, but like they just don't do that level of that in 4, if that makes sense. That.
Then I wrote, okay, finally the sushi boys are getting a crack at John, and they're dogging him. Because for the first part, they were absolutely dogging him.
They did dog him.
Then I said, bald dude is just aura farming, but in a goofy way, because he kept just like standing there and being like,
Have you seen Nacho Libre?
No.
Really?
Nope.
Really? In Nacho Libre, there's 2 little like hairy guys that Jack Black fights, and they're pretty feral. They're wearing like masks, like it's not body hair, but they're kind of wearing like sort of Chewbacca masks, kind of.
Sure.
Maybe Ewok masks.
Sure.
And they have the very aggressive and hyperactive fighting style, and the 2 guys that, not to compare these 2 men to Ewok looking luchadors.
Sure.
But it was a similar dynamic where those 2 guys are kind of all over him. Mm-hmm. But like John can just pick one of them up by like the scruff of his neck and throw him.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You said scruff of his neck too?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. See, and this is the part where
Well,
When he
speaking of
soils
those two
himself,
guys,
that's an
I
issue for
noticed. I wrote down, holy shit, that's Tasu Leech of Conja Club from Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
I don't know what the fuck that means. So
Most people don't. Oh yeah, and then I just typed the fuck. I think after John was shot off the roof, and then I said no shot. John survives that even if he did. And then last note was wow 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 wow. John is pissed because he looked up and was like, I'm really mad, and he had his fucking bloodshot eye, and I was like, whoa, oh no, he's really grumpy about it. Yeah. Which I'm assuming is where we'll kind of open the fourth one, which I have seen. I know that it starts off with him like going to the desert shooting somebody, which maybe it's the high guy that he talked to and made him cut it off. He didn't make him cut off his finger. Well, he kind of did. He said he was going to kill him otherwise. Whatever. Yeah. I'm assuming that's what it is.
Two things.
Maybe he's pissed off.
They actually did that falling off the roof stunt with the stunt guy where he like slides off that awning and then slams into the balcony. And the first time he flew right onto the balcony and like almost broke his neck.
Oh, jeez.
And they were like, are you okay to go in again? And he's like, if I do it in the next 5 minutes, then yeah. Which is kind of crazy.
Why? Before he changed his mind?
Like, I think before he like passed out. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a cool stunt, I guess. And number two,
it's crazy. I think to like Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, like him getting kicked into a car by a horse or something, and how fucking like it looks like it's so like. Which obviously he didn't actually do that stunt, I'm assuming, but like to see that and then see the John stunt double genuinely fall and do that, it looks so good.
Yeah. And then the other thing is, at the end, Lawrence Fishburne looks like Frankenstein.
He does. Also, it's just crazy that I was like, crazy that John Wick Chapter 3 looks better than Paul Blart Mall Cop.
Yeah. I didn't quite know
man.
where you were getting at there. So,
I don't know.
Sometimes I just got to leave. Sometimes you put something on the table, and I know I don't have to take a scoop of that dish, know?
Sure.
Last thing before we go.
Yeah.
How many people do you think John killed in this movie?
In this one? Goodness. Him personally, or how many people died in this movie?
Him personally.
Because there were a lot of there was a lot of dog kills. There were a lot of
dogs are an extension. Like one of the dogs, I would say, is an extension.
Is Halle Berry an extension of John?
I would say no.
I don't know. Probably like 121.
167.
Whoa, even more. I didn't want to go too high and then.
Yeah, and then
like I didn't want to say like 200, and you'd be like, it was actually 60.
Yeah, those are all rubber bullets. You ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's about it.
I think that's good.
I think we're both medium rare on this one.
Yeah, there's a lot of parts where I'm like, that's some of the best John Wick, and there's a lot of parts where I'm like, this is a bad movie. So like, it's a weird balance.
Hillary did say, she was like, if this wasn't John Wick, like you wouldn't be watching this. And I was like, yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, if this was like, if everything was the
Statham,
same, but then the story around it was like the first of a new franchise, I'd probably leave the theater being like, that was okay.
Yeah.
That was all right.
Bullet Train type shit.
I'd probably rather watch Bullet Train than this.
You love Bullet Train.
I don't love Bullet Train. I just feel like that was like very much a see it in the theater, be like, that was a fun time, and then not think about the movie again. Someone throws Bullet Train on, I won't be upset, but I'm never going to be like, let's throw Bullet Train on.
When they do, I don't know, Coal Locomotive or something, then you're going to be sitting in theaters. That's the sequel. I was trying to come up with like a different kind of train or something. I don't know, light rail transit.
Say Skull Locomotive?
Coal. Maybe like light rail transit or maybe like Subway.
Yeah, if they make a sequel to Bullet Train and it's just called Subway.
And you're like, is it like a dream I had where like I just order a sub?
Did anything else happen? No, man, I just made an order at Subway.
We gotta do Friendship, I think. I haven't watched The Chair Company either.
Me neither.
I gotta get on that. And I gotta
Anyway,
find
on that
purpose
note-
in my life.
you want us to get into that?
Maybe the ballerina episode. We might be
Okay.
having a tough time thinking of stuff to talk about.
Oh, okay, interesting. Okay, that can be our ramble episode because we definitely
also-
didn't ramble in this one.
I was also thinking, I don't know how you feel about this, but I think in the ballerina one,
Mhm.
I have an idea for us to do like a where would we take the franchise from here.
Mhm.
But if that is too long, I feel like it might be fun for us to like do a series wrap up episode where it's kind of like
interesting.
what would we do with the future of whatever this thing is. But I think we tested out with the ballerina.
We'll see how it is. I feel like
and
we
see
could
how it
probably just
goes.
tack that onto the end of
Definitely
the last
not
one.
an end of the pod conversation
Sure.
that I just brought up right now. But
One thing that I think it has become a bit of a screen share staple is us pitching ideas to each other on the podcast and then saying, this isn't for the podcast, and then doing it about 4 more times. That's kind of
Yeah.
what we do.
we don't really like we talk, but we don't talk like that much about this.
No.
But
Once in a while, we'll be like, do you want to like talk about this? And then maybe once in a while
and I'll be
we'll
like,
do-
the weekend's over.
Yeah. I mean, even this episode's going up a bit late just because busy times. And then we were
Yeah.
like, do you want to record this time? Nah. And then we saw each other on Halloween. I brought my recording stuff. And then we were like, nah, we'll do it another time.
I got shit to do.
But here's the thing.
Anyway.
New era of the pod. We're not worrying about it. The
Yeah.
episode's still going out.
Fuck you, Andrew Cuomo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, trying to make me plan out my shit. Trying to make me do a. Hold on.
What are
Trying to make me plan out some shit in a fucking spreadsheet, Andrew Cuomo,
Why are
you
you-
dumbass.
Why are you standing so your mouth is far away from the... There it is. I was like, why are you furthering away from the mic?
Yeah, Andrew Cuomo, dumbass.
Are you trying to show your build so he doesn't get
Andrew
beat
Cuomo,
up?
you dumbass. Watch out.
Okay, I'll join you. Andrew Cuomo, come catch these hands. Come
You wanna
catch
see
these
some shit,
hands, Andrew Cuomo.
You want to see some shit? I could do this all day, Andrew.
I don't have any props unless I pull my lightsaber out, but I feel like that's not gonna get the vibe that I want. Okay, so
How many more can I do?
while Calder pumps iron, getting those buys and tries nice and hefty, I'll wrap up the pod. Thank you everybody for listening to the episode. I hope that you enjoyed this podcast episode more than you enjoyed John Wick Chapter 3, or at least just as much. We love you very much. We'll see you next week for John Wick Chapter 4.
Baby Jesus, please.
Are you like begging me to wrap it up so you can stop? Yeah. Why is your hand on your heart when you're doing it? Is that how you're supposed to do it?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to wrap it up so Calder can stop. Because he's not allowed to... Whoa, don't stop. Whoa, don't stop. Whoa, don't stop. You're wrapped up. Your headphone's wrapped up in your microphone. You're fucked. Okay, goodbye, everybody. He's not going to help you.